Hello there, today we're going to be making sweetheart beef and doughboy stew. We've got a nice pack of the Rannicky Farm diced round steak, really nice. Bit of prep work to do. We've got some chopped onions, so it's 2 onions, sort of small chop but not too much because I still want to see them. I've got a couple of teaspoons of chopped garlic. I've got neeps, carrots, celery and leeks. So that's 2 leeks, about 200 grams of carrot, 150 grams of neeps and 100 grams of celery. I've measured out 1/3 cup of plain flour, and I'm making up a wee baggie for the flavour. So I've got some garden sage. This has all been raided from the boss's garden. Some nice rosemary, nice fresh thyme. Ram it all in that bag. Couple of fresh bay leaves and a nice handful of parsley. And just ram it all in that bag. Give it a tug. Just tie a basic knot. These bags you just throw them away. They're very cheap. I think you can get them on Amazon or any good kitchen shop. You can tie it all up with a bit of string as well. Or you can use a spoonful of dried mixed herbs, but you ain't getting that flavour from them. So we're ready to start now. Okay, so I've got my crock pot or slow cooker warming up over here. I've got a hot pan. I'm putting in some Scottish rapeseed oil. Just enough to cover the bottom. Make sure that's nice and hot. There we go. Now, I've got half of the pack, which is, I suppose, 250 grams of the beef. Now, I'm not just going to chuck it in. I'm going to spread it round evenly. You don't want to overload the pan. If your pan's smaller, use less beef. But we're not going to sugar it about or anything like that. We're just going to lay it all round. That's it. It's all laid round. Now we're going to leave that until we get some colour. There's no colour, no flavour. So that's going to take 2 minutes. Okay, it's been a couple of minutes. So we're just going to turn it all over. Look at that. That lovely colour there. Now that's where you're going to get your flavour from at the end of the stew. So get as much colour as you can onto these beef. So I'll just turn all this over and then we'll do the same to the rest of the beef. Now that's all the beef browned off. So we're moving on to the next step. I've taken the meat out of the pan. You can see we've left some nice residue there. We call that flavour. And we're going to put in, remember we measured that 1/3 cup of flour. We're now measuring 1/3 cup of rapeseed oil. Okay, what we're doing is making a brown roux. People don't often do this anymore, but it's, you know, the classic ways of doing things are called classics for a reason. Okay, now we're putting in the flour, which is the equal amount. Yeah, so it's 1/3 cup. Now, if you want your stew thicker, add more, like 1/2 cup of each. If you want it thinner, add say 1/4 cup of each. But you want 50-50 flour to oil. Now, we don't move away from here now because this can go square shape very, very quickly. What we're trying to do is cook the flour until it goes brown. The browner it gets, the nuttier the flavour at the end of the sauce. And the better it will look. If you did it now, you'd have a pale, not very pretty stew. So we'll cook this out, and don't be scared, just keep cooking it and make sure you move it all the time until we get a nice brown roux. Okay, you can see this is browning up nicely now. How far you take it is entirely up to you. The browner you get, the nuttier the flavour. You could do it now, but I'm going to take it just a little bit further. Be aware that when this is this colour, that fat is very, very hot. Don't go splashing yourself, you'll end up with arms like mine. There we go. So just a tiny bit more. I've got my onions ready. There we go. Now I'm going to add it now. So in with the onions, and we're just going to cook these until they go a little bit translucent. Now because that oil's so hot, that's not going to take very much time at all. Probably less than a minute. Okay, they're cooked out nicely now. So we're going to go in with about half a tin of Sweetheart Stout. I love using this with beef. It just loves the flavour. So there we go, about half a tin I suppose, yeah, a little bit more maybe. To give this a stir, bring it up to the boil, and we want to reduce that beer down a bit. We're going to go in with about a tablespoon or so of tomato puree. Don't get a cheap one, get a nice one. You will notice the difference, believe me. Okay, we're just going to bring this to the boil, and then we're going to reduce it down a bit. Oh, we'll throw in the beef as well while we're there. There we go. So you're already starting to get that lovely rich colour come up. Okay, let's reduce down a little bit. You can see it's thickening up nice. You're already developing that wonderful colour. So we're going to go in now with all of that veg we did earlier. Now the veg is an important part of the flavour, so if you want to put more in, by all means go for it. Runaway onion. Now I've got some beef stock. Basically this is, I've made a couple of pints, but I might not use it all. There's about a pint going in there. For each half a pint of water, I use 1 Bovril cube. Now I like the Bovril cubes because you get a good colour, as you can see. Also a great deep rich flavour. So we're going to bring this to the boil now, and we're going to throw in a super little flavour baggie. There we go. Okay, I didn't tell you earlier, but I've done some potatoes. There's about 200 grams of roosters. I've just peeled, chopped them up. I've put in some salt and pepper, a couple of teaspoons of sea salt, and a really good hit of black pepper. And now that's going into the hot pot or slow cooker for about 4 hours. So in 3 hours we'll come back and we'll do up the dough balls for it. So to make the dough balls, now don't all scream at me, but we're doing it slightly different. So we've got 200 grams of self-raising flour, same as usual. Some salt. We'll put in some Italian seasoning, or you can put in mixed herbs, whichever you want. A good whack of black pepper. You didn't see that coming, did you? And then we're basically doing half fat flour. So we've got 200 grams of self-raising flour. So I've got grated butter, 100 grams. Yes, I know you normally do it with suet, but these will give you a much lighter dough ball. A little bit better taste, but that's opinion. Some people like the old beef taste. I do as well, but this gives you a much nicer texture. Don't use a big old wooden spoon to mix it, because you don't want to melt this butter too much. And all we're going to do is start adding cold milk a little at a time to bring it together as a dough, hence the dough ball. So I'll carry on just drizzling a little bit of milk in at a time until we've got it. There we go, that's enough milk. Now I'm not going to tell you how much milk to add, because every flour is different and you just can't really tell, to be honest. So you want to get it to about this stage so that it's not too sticky, but you can roll it into a bowl. I'm guessing I used, I don't know, just under 100 millilitres, I suppose. I don't really know, to be honest. To say, I don't want to tell you how much, because every dough is different. And then we're just going to make the balls. So we're going to take off a little bit like that, roll it in our hands like so, and pop it on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and do all of these. Okay, I got 18 balls out of that. Look, you want bigger ones, go for it. If you want smaller ones, go for it. It's entirely up to you. It's your lunch. But all we're going to do now is just float these on top of the stew. I'll do that in a second. Well, here we go. It's been 3 hours now. So I'm taking out the flavour bag. He's done his job. Give it a quick stir up. Wonderful smell. Now you can see, oh no you can't, it's all steamed up. Let me move that. You can see the colour we've achieved through using the brown roux and browning the meat and making it all really, well, brown. Basically, you get this beautiful, rich, old-fashioned, country-style stew. So I'm just going to grab the dumplings. Okay, I've got the dough balls. We're just going to drop them around it. Spread them out evenly. And then we're going to pop the lid on. And then we're not going to lift the lid for half an hour. And then we'll have a look and see where we are. Voila. Voila. Getting hungry. So, on the lid, half an hour, we will return. I mean, have a look at that. They just look, if you could just smell this, it really is amazing. It's proper old-fashioned farmhouse cooking. Look at that. Beautiful thick gravy. Whoa. There we go. Look, I'm going to dish that up because I'm starving now. I'll take a photograph. Give this a try. Don't forget, if you want it thicker, add more brown roux. If you want it thinner, add less brown roux. For me, this is about right, but, you know, it's your lunch. Give it a crack. You will enjoy this.